Hi friends, my name is Krishna. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We have already discussed about purchase book, sales book, and we also did some illustrations from ICAI Institute material. In today's video, we are going to discuss about purchase returns book. What are the rules to be followed while we are preparing the purchase returns book? How the specimen is going to be, and we will also take one illustration and we will close purchase return book. Okay friends, let us discuss about purchase returns book now. What are the transactions we need to record in purchase returns book? Goods returned to suppliers previously purchased for credit to be recorded. Goods returned to suppliers to be recorded in purchase book. Let us precisely discuss about it first. Goods returned to suppliers to be recorded in purchase book. We return to suppliers. Okay, fine. What type of goods? Are those goods purchased previously for credit, or are those goods purchased previously for cash? That is important. See, when we purchase goods, we would have purchased goods for cash. We would have purchased goods for credit, right? So what kind of goods previously purchased have been returned now? That is the question you need to ask. If the goods were previously purchased for cash and returned now to the supplier, should not be recorded in purchase book. Sorry, purchase return book. Let me repeat again. Today we returned some goods to the supplier. What question we need to ask ourselves? Are these returns, whatever goods you returned, were previously purchased for cash or previously purchased for credit? That is the question you need to ask. If these goods were previously purchased for cash, you should not record them in purchase return book. If these goods were previously purchased for credit, then you need to record them here. Let me conclude. In purchase return book, we record those returns, purchase returns, previously purchased for credit only. Are you clear? We record those purchase returns in purchase return book only if they were purchased for credit previously. If they would have purchased it for cash, you should not record. That is the meaning of it. So goods returned to supplier previously purchased it for credit only to be recorded. Goods returned to supplier previously purchased it for cash should not be recorded. That should go to journal proper, not here. Previously I purchased it for cash, now I am returning. That should not come under purchase book at all. Then assets returned to supplier previously purchased either for the cash or for the credit. There is no question of recording assets returns here. Whether you purchase it for cash, you purchase it for credit, assets should not come into the purchase return book at all. Clear? Only goods returned to supplier which were previously purchased for credit to be recorded in purchase return book. Be very, very specific and clear. Now go to the specimen. This specimen, as usual, we have a date, we have debit note. What is debit note? I'll explain. What is a particular, whatever particulars we are supposed to fill in, we update the particulars, details, LF number and amount. These are the things are there in our format. Now let us talk one by one. You know the date, I don't require to explain. Which date you returned the goods to be recorded? The date has to be recorded here. Debit note. What is debit note? See, when we return the goods, what entry we post? We debit supplier account and we credit purchase returns. This is the entry we write when we return the goods. What are we doing here? We are debiting the supplier. That means what? Since I am returning the goods, supplier is receiving them. So I need to debit supplier. Supplier is the receiver. I need to debit supplier account. So what a debit note says is, when I am returning goods to the supplier, what I am going to tell supplier is, hey Mr. Supplier, I previously purchased these goods from you. The quality of the goods are not good, or the goods what you supply to me are not as per my expectations. Hence, I am returning these goods to you. While I am returning these goods to you, I am debiting your account in my books. What am I doing? I am debiting your account in my books. That is what the debit note says. What do you mean by debit note? Debit note is nothing but informing the supplier that, Mr. Supplier, I am returning these goods to you because they are not in good condition or they are not as per my expectation. Hence, I am returning them. While I am returning, I am debiting your account because you need to either pay me back that amount or you need to reduce that amount from your invoice value. So I prepare a debit note. I'll give one copy to the supplier and I'll also retain one copy with me. Are you clear about the debit note? Debit note is a document prepared while we are returning goods to the supplier, informing him that, boss, goods are not as per my expectations. Hence, I am returning these goods to you. While I am returning these goods to you, I am debiting your account. Since I am saying that I am debiting your account, that note is called debit note. That note is called debit note. Very clear. Why it is debit note? Because I am debiting his account and informing him saying that, boss, I am debiting you. So that is called a debit note. Now you see what debit note how debit note format looks like. Name of the firm issuing the note, because we are the ones issuing the debit note to him, right? So our firm name should be here. Debit note number, we have to create a series of numbers. We have to put the debit note number here. We need to maintain the series. Address of the firm against whom we are sending this this return of goods. We need to put the address and supplier name. Who is that supplier and what is his address? We need to put here. Here address of the firm, our firm address we need to put here. Sorry. In this address of the firm, we need to put our address. Here we need to put supplier name and supplier address. And we have to put the details here. What details we need to put? What are the products we are returning to the supplier? Product name, quantity, value, and total amount. We need to put, sign it, and send this document to the supplier. So debit note format would be looking like this. I don't have a right format to showcase, so I prepared a simple format for your reference. Please go through this. Once again, I'm repeating our firm name. Whoever is issuing, we are the ones issuing, our firm name and our address, and we need to create a debit note number. That series should come over here, and here supplier name and address we need to put. Here we need to put the product name, quantity, price, and other things, total amount here, and send this document to supplier, asking him to record his books also based on this debit note. Clear? So that is what is the debit note. Next, particulars. You know particulars, right? Whatever products we are returning, the product name, quantity, price, and everything we will put. In case if there is any trade discount or tax details, we will calculate those things in details column, and the net amount we will put it in amount. That is the amount of purchases we return to the supplier. So that is what this format says. Are you clear? So what I request is, here I have given the definition of debit note. Whatever I explanation it is there, whatever I explained to you, that explanation is here, explained here in this definition. Please pause the video and read the definition. You will definitely get a clarity, right? Then that's all about purchase return book. I hope you are clear about the topic. Let us work on one illustration. Simple, very simple illustration which I extracted from CAI Foundation Material. CA Foundation Material, I took illustration 5. In this illustration, what it says, let us read the problem first. 4th January 2020, debit note number 101, returned to Goyal Mills, Surat, 5 polyester sarees at 1000 rupees. So we returned 5 polyester sarees at 1000 rupees. So next one, 9/1/2020, Garg Mills, Kota accepted the return of goods which were purchased for cash from us. 5 quota sarees 400. Very important, guys. See, what did he say here? Which were purchased for cash. Previously, these goods were purchased for cash. If any returns were made against which these goods were purchased for cash, should not be recorded in purchase return book. That is what I explained while explaining this purchase return book. Are you clear? So this example very clearly says these goods are returned, but whatever goods you returned, these goods were purchased previously for cash. So if they were purchased for cash, they should not come under purchase return book. It will go to journal proper. So you should not record this transaction. Next, 16 January 2020, debit note number 102, returned to Mittal Mills, Bangalore, 5 silk sarees at 2600. So this has to be recorded. Next one, 30th January 2020, returned one computer being defective, 35,000 to B and company. I already told my third one. Assets returned to suppliers previously either purchased for cash or for credit should not be recorded in purchase return book. So since computer is an asset, whether it is purchased for cash or purchased for credit should not be recorded in purchase return book. So this also will not come under purchase return book. Now let us go ahead. 4/1/2020. Let us put 4/1/2020 here. 101 is the debit note. 101 is the debit note. Goyal Mills we return we returned goods. So Goyal Mills we mentioned here, and 5 polyester sarees into 1000, 5000 rupees. These goods were returned to these people. Next, as I said, this is not to be recorded. The reason is these goods were previously purchased for cash. So I am not considering this. Next, 16/1/2020, debit note number 102, Mittal Mills, Bangalore, 5 silk sarees at 2600. It is coming to 2600 into 5, 13,000. So 13,000 goods we returned. So this has been recorded here. Next, returned one computer. I already explained this. If at all any asset returned should not be recorded in purchase return book. So this will not come into the picture. So only this and this are recorded here. And when we total the amount, purchase returns book is showing 18,000 is the amount. That's all, very simple. Let me conclude once. Goods returned which were previously purchased for credit only to be recorded in purchase returns book. Goods returned which were previously purchased for cash should not be recorded. Assets either purchased for cash or purchased for credit should not be recorded in purchase returns book if they were returned. Clear? That's all. That's all about this purchase book. So if at all you have any doubts, please comment on my video. I am very happy to answer those doubts. If you like the content, I sincerely request you to like the video, share this video with your friends and colleagues, and subscribe to my channel as well. That's all from my end. Thank you so much.